overcoming some adversity, overcoming some of those penalties we had, getting backed up. It was a good fight from those guys. Good to drive down the field. Heck of a catch on our deep post right there, and then the touchdown too. So not a bad day all around.
Now, you've said that you're comfortable being the backup, but would you like to see a competition, a shot at being the starter week 1?
That's still up to Pet. I'm just doing what I'm told. Coming out here, getting the most of the reps that I'm getting. I was very happy, very thankful today to get the whole second half. So, build on this and go into another preseason game. We got 2 more left. All I can really do is take care of myself, continue to try and play at a good level.
Manziel is saying all the right things after playing the entire second half, going 10 of 18 for 118 yards and 1 pass TD in the Browns' 1-point loss to the Bills. Brian Dawkins is still with us. What are your thoughts on Manziel's night?
There's a saying in the locker room, don't talk about it, be about it. And in the past, we've heard Johnny talk about a lot of things. And, this offseason, he went and did something that was all on him. He decided to go in and get some treatment for some things that he felt was something that was hindering him as a person, not just a player. And right now, you're seeing him be about it. And I love that. And he's a man of his word. He has not, if you ask the young fans, not the older fans, but the young fans, and they mention the name Johnny Manziel, the first thing that they probably would do is that.
Correct.
Have you seen that yet?
Yeah.
And you probably won't see it again because he said, I'm not going to do that. I'm going to be serious about my job. And you can see it. Some people that I talked to there, he's very serious about what he's doing, the quarterback of that team. And, Joe Thomas coming out saying that he's earned the respect of this football. Listen, that is huge to have a guy that big, but a guy a leader on that football team say that. He's going a long way in his efforts right now to earn the respect of his teammates. And I said that from the beginning. You have to earn the respect of your teammates in order for you to be the franchise quarterback. Now, play on the field, you can see it. You can see why they drafted him climbing into the pocket, him on the touchdown throw, the rollout. Listen, the run against your arm, so to speak, to your left and throw with your right arm, that's a very difficult pass. And he put that thing on the money, And so there are a lot of things that you love about what's going on. Now, what are you doing if you're the coach? If you're the QB coach, offensive coordinator, you're still challenging him to find the other things. On his touchdown run, I love the fact that he scored. But if you peek and check it out, the safety and the corner were double teaming a receiver and a tight end, okay? They were 2-on-2, excuse me. They both took the short route. The tight end was wide open in the back of the end zone. Johnny ran for a touchdown. He scored. Congratulations, dude. We know you can do that. Take it the next step. Take those couple of steps up in the pocket, find that tight end, and use your legs when you need to, not because you want to. Now, am I condemning him for scoring? Absolutely not. Great job. But I'm talking about taking your game to the next level.
Yep.
And that's what the good quarterbacks do. They're able to take their game to the next level to utilize the entire field and only use my legs when I have to. But to be honest with you, I'm proud of what I see when it comes to Johnny. Yeah. I'm very proud of what I see.
Stephen A.
Well, we're proud because we know where he's coming from. We know that he obviously had demons that he was willing to battle, and to be 22 years of age at the time and to be willing to man up and to say, I've got this issue and I have to make sure that I address it if I'm going to have any kind of future, not just as a professional football player, but as a man that I want to be. I'm disappointing myself. I clearly have disappointed my teammates in the organization that had faith in me enough to draft me, and clearly I've disappointed my parents as well. And to take that position and to say that you're going to correct it, to be that young of age and to be willing to do so, knowing that the eye of the storm was going to be on you, that everybody was going to be all in your business, that the world would know that you had to succumb to whatever ailment this specifically was. He deserves a boatload of credit. So what has happened is he's changed critics in the fans because he's transcended the sport per se. You don't just talk about Johnny Manziel as a football player. You talk about Johnny Manziel, that guy that recognized he had a substance abuse issue and checked himself into a rehab clinic to get himself right. And because of that, Skip, you can speak to that a hell of a lot better than I could. You're going to notice that people throughout this nation, if not this world, that have similar issues are going to find ways and reasons to relate to Johnny Manziel in such a way that's going to make them fans of his and make them a support base for him, which is going to further elevate him, thereby enabling him to focus so much on football. And we know when he's focused on football, what his talents mandate he can do. So it's going to be real interesting to see, and it's a very compelling and interesting story at this moment in time. But the jury is still out. Let's see what we see from here on out.
That's well said. My jury's still out, and I love this kid, and I'm proud of him too. And I'm seeing take it to the bank kind of progress on and off the field, but it's early progress. We got a long, long way to go. But to echo what Stephen A. said, it took a whole stomach full of humility to give in and give up and say, I need help. It's just so hard to do that at 22 when you think you're on top of the world. But I know this for a fact. His football life flashed before him. He faced his football mortality very early on at age 21 when he realized he can't do this. He's not going to make it. He's teetering on losing the whole show, everything.
Yep.
So I got to lose this, and I need to lose Johnny football. He's not going to talk about that anymore. Everybody else still does. Last night, Johnny football's trending because it's just going to. But he has started to win over his teammates. And what I loved about last night, and I gave him an A for his performance because I was keeping it in the context of all he's been through. Right. He was a disaster last year, especially at this point, and even during the regular season when he got a shot. And last night, he was poised, he was in control, he was on point, he was in command of the offense and himself. And we saw flashes of electricity from him, but it was always under wraps. It was within the confines. It was right on time when it needed to be. And I agree with you, that cross-body throw, there are very few humans who can make that throw. And I'm not saying that makes him a great quarterback, but he can do that.
Yes, he can.
On occasion.
Yes, he can.
So the totality of it was that he's starting to look like a starting quarterback in the National Football League.
And that's huge for where he was last year.
Yeah.
I mean, he looked confused. He really looked confused last year. He was tucking the ball, running at the drop of a dime. There was a play last night. There's a couple of them that he read the blitz and got rid of the football. A couple of them. There was one that he was anticipating the blitz and was looking for his receiver. I was looking at him as he went back to his receiver and was like, hey, you know what? If they do that again, we're going to do this. That's maturity. That's taking the game. That's owning the game. That's now this is my offense. This is what we're going to do in this situation. When you have a teammate that is willing to get into the books, willing to have that type of understanding and comes to you with an answer to something that a team is giving you, listen, I'm telling you, that goes a long way in building the confidence of the guys around you. So when you get in the huddle, I've always said this, when you get into the huddle in a 2-minute situation and these guys are looking you in your eyes, do they believe in me? Without me giving them a pep talk or a speech, like Aaron Rodgers can just get in the huddle and say, hey, let's go, gentlemen. They know, everybody knows we have a chance.
Whoa. Brian, how much does actual talent lend itself towards building that level of confidence as opposed to leadership? I know there has to be an element of both. Please don't get me wrong. But when you look at your quarterback in that huddle and you automatically believe in him, what are the elements that makes you and a football player get to that point?
It's the belief in this dude's ability to make the big play when the big play is needed. So sometimes it's talent. Sometimes it's, obviously playing with Big Five. Donovan, listen, in certain situations, his escapability, especially when he was young, was off the chart. So he can do those things to get out. And so you begin to trust him more and more. And it's the same thing with Johnny. Listen, we're talking about he's crawling right now. All right, we're just kind of, giving him praise for something that he's crawling. But at the same time, because of where he's been, we should do that. You should give him, the nod for that. But going back to the point that I was trying to make is when you have a quarterback that had been in the past not studying the playbook, not really ready to play, and now you see that he's ready to play, you see that he's doing the things that get guys on the same page with him, it galvanizes guys to let's trust Johnny a little more. You know what? let's do things a little differently with him than before. Now, I'm not just worried about myself now. I'm worried about the team because I know Johnny's going to give me a chance to play. Now, can he play in the cold weather? Can he throw the ball in the wind? That's still up in the air. But as from what I saw last night, his body mechanics, his body language, I like what I saw.
Yep.
Everything appears to be trending in the right direction for Johnny, and I think we all hope collectively that that continues. Brian, thanks so much for joining us. Up next, we stay in Cleveland, but we switch to their hoops team. J.R. Smith is heading back to Cleveland. What does this mean?